Welcome to the Latin American Perspectives podcast. My name is Tomas Ocampo, Outreach Coordinator at Latin American Perspectives. Today we will be discussing the main theme of the November LAP issue on China and Latin America with editor Tamar Diana Wilson. Tamar is a research affiliate with the Department of Anthropology at the University of Missouri in St. Louis. She has published articles on tourism and the informal economy in Critique of Anthropology, Latin American Perspectives, Urban Anthropology, and Review of Radical Political Economics. Good morning, Tamar. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So for my first question, the issue covers a very dynamic and very complex topic. Can you briefly summarize for our audience the focus of the issue?
This special issue focuses on the economic ties between China and Latin America, especially as concerns international trade and Chinese investment in the region. It also touches on the political dimension of Chinese relations with various Latin American countries. 3 articles are concerned with Chinese relationship with Brazil, for whom China is the #1 trading partner. Hearn's article is concerned with the politics of trust in Mexico's relationship with China. And an article by Mao, Hearn, and Louis is concerned with the ideological affinities between China and Cuba. The final article by Harris argues essentially that China has no desire to gain hegemony in the region, but uses its influence to gain what Joseph Nye has called soft power, though Harris does not utilize this concept.
In the issue, 2 opposing views of the economic relationship between Latin America and China are presented, and they are complementarity and dependency. Though it's difficult to make a case for one of the sides or the other, simply due to the short amount of time in which the area has been studied, in what ways have Latin American countries proven to be an example for one or the other?
That's a very difficult question, and it's quite under discussion. There is some literature on the issue that thinks, for example, Chinese relationship with Brazil in particular shows a new dependency. Although none of the literature I have seen on Brazil uses classical dependency theory. But Jenkins, for example, points out that Brazil's exports are mainly raw materials, and its imports are mainly manufactured goods that compete with its own industrial sector. Corrado, on the other hand, disputes the primarization thesis as concerns Brazil's economic relationships with China, which is the argument that the economy is going back to primary materials rather than going into manufacture export. Authors Poyana and Constantino comment on the foreignization of large land holdings as part of a pattern of land grabbing by China in Colombia and Argentina. Even though they do not refer to the dependency literature, they seem to fall on that side. The article by Harris, though, portrays China as a panda bear rather than the dragon that many commentaries label it. He fully endorses the complementarity thesis, while other articles point out that it is too early to predict whether Chinese economic strategies will be good or bad for the region.
With that in mind, what do you see will continue to unfold in the next few decades between China and Latin American countries?
I feel the situation is too dynamic at this point. I mean, it will be based on the individual policies of the various governments in Latin America.
Right.
And also on the role that the United States will play, whether accepting China's influence in Latin America or attempting to combat it. So it is an evolving situation.
I think that we can agree that the discussion on China and Latin America will continue to be complex and ever evolving over the next few decades. Thank you, Tamar, for joining us. Your answers were excellent.
Thank you.
And thank you to our listeners as well. That is all the time that we have for today. Be sure to join us again in January for our next podcast. And thanks again for listening in.